Welcome back to the Mid-Year Mitch YouTube channel. Today's episode, I'm going to unbox my brand new Roadster Shop Spec 7 chassis for my 67 Corvette Overkill. That car's been off the road for 40 years and I just got the body fixed in the last couple videos. And now I'm going to build the entire car in about 2 months to get it ready for Corvettes at Carlisle 2023. So I'm going to give you guys the overview of how I'm going to do that, how the car is going to be optioned out, and why I went with the Roadster Shop chassis, because this is definitely one of the best chassis you can get on the market. So be sure to stick around. If you want to come see my 67 Corvette Overkill, come to Corvettes at Carlisle. I should be there Thursday to Saturday. We got the chassis back to the house and it fits perfectly on the U-Haul trailer, but now we need to figure out how to get it from here into there. Man, this thing looks awesome. Pretty excited about this chassis. I've been waiting about 8 months for this thing, but it looks awesome. It's well worth the wait. Wait till we get this thing uncrated. So we got the Roadster Shop chassis unboxed, and this is my brand new Spec 7 chassis for my 67 Corvette. I've been working hard to get the body ready, and the chassis came at the perfect time because it's now ready to be mated up. So if you don't know about these chassis, these things are well engineered, and I'm an engineer by trade. So I wanted a chassis that was really well engineered, super strong. I wanted it to be somewhat, affordable, but I also wanted the latest and greatest technology. So we have C7 Corvette suspension, coilovers that are adjustable, power rack and pinion steering, big sway bars. You can see that these motor mounts are solid. It's set up for a small block Chevy. It's got a TKX. It's set up for a Tremec transmission, but I'm going to put a TKX in it. Then in the back has a brand new Camaro SS rear end and C7 Corvette rear suspension, again with coilovers and another big beefy sway bar. So I said I want a really well engineered chassis, and this is what I got. I did not want to compromise and put a solid axle under here. GM worked way too hard in these cars to get IRS in the back, so I did not want to sacrifice that. And I also didn't want to put a C4 rear end in it because that's 40-year-old technology at this point in that suspension. And I can get really nice wide tires back here. So I have the latest and greatest technology in the Spec 7 platform, and this thing is just super rigid. The welds are absolutely fantastic. It's all hand welded. All the rails are laser cut. They have a machine to cut that. All their plates are cut out on their beautiful plasma table that is gigantic. It came with the brake lines, the little proportioning valve here with all really nice bends. Everything's really tight to the frame. It even has a pretty cool bulkhead that goes right through here. And some chassis don't give you a lot of room for back exhaust. This one gives you room to run up and under, up and over, however you want to route it. But I'm going to run side exhaust on this. You can just see the craftsmanship behind this. I mean, look at these welds and these plates, absolutely fantastic. So to say I'm excited is an understatement. And these chassis also come with the front bumper bracket, so I have all the provisions to run stock bumpers. And that's about where the stock stuff ends. So now it's time for the fun part. Now I get to put the body on top of this thing. I need to do a full mock-up, so I need to cut the floor out of the back, because if you look at the Roadster Shop chassis, the frame rails are pulled in really far to run control arms or A-arms, where the stock C2 had trailing arm setups, and these frames are much further outboard. And also you can see that the floor is packaged really close to the frame, so all that's got to go. The Roadster Shop chassis is kind of channeled, or like Z'd, what you do with an old hot rod, where from this dimension to this dimension is physically longer, so that brings the suspension up and brings the body down. So to accomplish that in the back, the whole floor has to go, and we may have to modify the transmission tunnel, which I left part of it cut out for that exact reason. So now it's time to pull all the junk out of this thing and do a full mock-up. We need to get the rear clip on here. We need to get the engine transmission in, front end, mock up the side pipes, and just mock up all the parts I have to make sure everything works. So I have everything laid out here. It looks like a bomb went off because I just took the chassis apart to send this thing off to powder coat. You'll see that in a couple of videos whenever I do the mock-up phase, but I'll give you the overview of what this car is going to be like. So this is my 67 Vette Overkill. I named the car Overkill because I saw Ringo Starr and his all-star band in concert at Pittsburgh, and then I heard the lead singer Colin Hayes sing who was in Men at Work. He sang the song Overkill, and that spoke to me, and I was like, yep, that's what I want to do with this. So I ran with that, and I bought the baddest chassis I could. Roadster Shop Spec 7 chassis, you know, with C7 Corvette suspension all the way around. Camaro rear end, had beautiful brake lines on it, power rack and pinion steering. Everything is just super beef. This is a bulletproof frame, which is overkill for this project. The car is gonna stay ermine white, or what's left of the ermine white. I need to match the paint because I have a brand new front end. After Corvettes at Carlisle, I'll work on patinaing the car, but that's for a future time. The inside is gonna be pretty simple. I've done some floor mods, which you'll see in an upcoming video, but the inside will be red. I have AC dash for it, a Flaming River tilt column, which I'm gonna make it look like a telescopic column from back in the day. It'll probably have a radio. Don't know if you'll hear it because I have side pipes, which are laying back there. It'll have vintage AC. I have a factory AC dash, red door panels, red carpet. It'll be pretty basic. I have a headliner for it, hopefully at Carlisle. And then under the hood, I have the engine from the Misfit, RIP Misfit. This is a 500 horsepower 327. It's a high compression, solid roller cam, big AFR heads. It made 505 horsepower at 6,900 RPM, good running engine. And I have a brand new Tremec TKX behind it, which is the close ratio. This thing is just gonna be an absolute ripper. So in the next video, I'll talk about some of the things I have to do to make all this stuff work together. So if you wanna duplicate this build or you wanna do something similar, I'll walk you through some of the part numbers I use and how to get from here to a running driving car in a couple months. So for wheels, I have them kind of tucked under here, but I'm gonna run Corvette Z06 wheels. So these are from a C6 Z06 427 special edition. These are the spider wheels. So I have 12-inch wide in the back, 9.5 in the front. So this thing's gonna be pretty monstrous. Over here I have my brakes, which are C7 Z51 brakes with red calipers. So I want to keep the red theme going on. And then I have over here an L88 air cleaner that I'm going to put on the small block. I think I have to get a carb spacer, raise this up a little bit, so that way this will fit through the hood. And I'm going to have my 67 Stinger hood be cowl induction. I'm going to try to make that functional. And they don't breathe from the front because the air actually flows over the hood the way the front end is designed, and it puddles up at the windshield, and then the air will actually come in through the back. So a lot of people cut these out hoping to get better airflow. That's really not how that works. It actually comes through the back. That's how you get the most efficient airflow. The goal is to get this thing running and driving at Corvettes at Carlisle. Whatever condition the interior and paint is in is unknown. But I'm gonna do whatever I can just to at least get it running and driving, street legal, and looking pretty wicked. This thing's gonna be a whole lot of fun, so buckle up. This is gonna be a fast-paced series that you're not gonna wanna miss. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. As you can see, I have a lot of work to do. The garage is in a little bit of chaos. The next video you're gonna see, we're gonna start doing the mock-up on the car. Followed by that, we're gonna do the floor repairs that you have to do to make this chassis work on your Corvette. So I got a lot of work to do, and I'll catch you guys later. I want to get the car running and driving for Corvettes at Carlisle and show it as a running project to show that there's a good bit of work to be done, but I want to show that you can take a car that's been abandoned for years, hasn't been driven, it was wrecked, it was abandoned, and you can buy a brand new chassis, and if you work your tail off, you can get that car running and driving before the end of that season. So that's the goal. I want to show that I really enjoy it, and I put a big chunk of money down to buy this chassis. So I want to enjoy it. I could take a couple years to build this car and build it. It's going to be the way I want it, but I could try to get every detail 100% perfect. But at the end of the day, I have all these other cars waiting for me. This still has some work that needs done. This has a lot of work that needs done. So I don't have time to spend 3 years on my own cars. I have, little periods here and there. So we're going to rush just like the classic American hot rod TV deadlines. We're just going to thrash, get this thing done. And you guys can see it at Corvettes at Carlisle. It's spot K62, right by the Quanta gas tank trailer. You won't be able to miss it.